to Who Won the Week, your weekly dose of sports and advertising.
I'm Mike Shields. I'm next to media.
And I'm Matt Ulrich, media analyst at EDO, the TV Outcomes Company.
All right, Matt. This is our last episode of the year. We've been remiss in not talking much about the NBA In-Season Tournament, which culminated last week. Pretty good. I confess I struggled to understand the format a little bit. The only reason I knew it was going on because the Knicks were kind of in it for a while. Lakers ended up winning it. It generated a pretty good amount of interest. The players seemed into it because they were making a lot of money, but the ratings were good, right? I think they were not as high as a typical playoff game, but like in the neighborhood of what the league does on Christmas Day, which is impressive. It's going to be really interesting to see if this becomes, was it a novelty? Is it going to become something that's established in the sports calendar that gets a lot of more anticipation and build up? But what was your take so far on this experiment?
The players were playing for bragging rights, right? It's an in-season tournament. They're not really actual like championship implications. So it's a lot of bragging rights, and players were playing for $500,000 to each player on the winning team. The NBA was definitely playing for extra advertising dollars. Ratings were up 40% over NBA regular season games last season. So there was larger audience, bigger ad units, more ad dollars immediately. And then the NBA was also playing for potentially a media rights deal in the future. We've seen in the trades that Netflix is interested in this NBA Cup, this NBA in-season tournament for future seasons if the NBA can keep the momentum.
Right. Yeah, because there is the NBA deal is coming up and everyone's interested in what's going to happen there. This would make the league that much more enticing, but there's also, like you described, the possibility that they could carve out this tournament for a single streamer or network, and Netflix would make a lot of sense. And there has been some talk that they would even raise the stakes, like maybe you would automatically make the playoffs. I don't know. There's a lot of complications
Really?
there. It'll be really interesting to see if, like I would think this year the league was probably cautious in what it promised brands, but next year I could see a lot more, trying to negotiate bigger deals, custom ads, bigger rates, anticipating that it's going to draw an even bigger audience now that people know it exists. What did you guys see this year in terms of advertising and engagement?
There are a lot of the same advertisers that have been fixtures in NBA programming, NBA finals. You see like a State Farm all over the place, but an advertiser that was interesting was New Balance, and that's another fixture type advertiser. They innovated in the last year or two with some ads with NBA players and celebrities. So they did a Kawhi Leonard, the Clippers superstar, and Jack Harlow, the rapper. That was an ad campaign maybe early this year, late last year, and they came out with a newer ad featuring Kawhi Leonard, who really is New Balance's spokesperson, and then Jamal Murray, the Nuggets superstar who just won a championship last year. So you have two NBA stars in this brand ad for New Balance. No offer, it's just a brand ad, but that brand ad did really well. And so what we have for New Balance using EDO's data is that viewers who saw a New Balance ad during the NBA in-season tournament were over 200% more likely to engage with New Balance than the average advertiser during the NBA in-season tournament. And how does EDO know that? EDO measures spikes in search engagement that we attribute back to the ad, and we tally those all up and we figure out which advertisers have the highest rate of engagement or which programs have the highest rate of engagement within, let's say, the NBA in-season tournament.
It's interesting because you would think, there are sneaker ads in NBA games all the time, but that to drive that kind of engagement, it must have been something about. I mean, the ad must have been good, and then the collective audience and the fact that the games were compelling and tightly contested, that people are hanging out for those games and then searching immediately. That's interesting. I also think it's noteworthy that the way we're talking about this as being successful is that the Nielsen ratings were strong.
Yeah.
This has been a couple of years of talking about alternative currencies and where things are going. Yet we're still grading sports telecasts and in general on Nielsen ratings, and that's was proven out again this year. You had Amazon agreeing to use Nielsen for Thursday Night Football, and then just the other day, Peacock signed on to make a deal with Nielsen. It's interesting that is stuck in as the way the real barometer for success in streaming and beyond.
Yeah, Peacock advertised it during the NFL Thanksgiving. They've been advertising it since. There's the NFL holiday exclusive is on the 23rd, so it's this coming Saturday. And that game is going to be the first ever regular season game exclusively streamed on Peacock. There's a wild card playoff game coming up. And unlike Black Friday football, where it was free to anyone, you actually will need to be a Peacock subscriber to get access to this Saturday's game, and it's Chargers Bills are the two teams that are playing.
Right. And we've talked about this in the past, how how these streaming services really see sign up spikes whenever they have a big sports rights deal. This is a
Yeah.
single game, so I would think beyond in market, I don't know how many fans it's going to draw, but that will be interesting to see what kind of response they get. Matt, what else before we wrap up the year here?
Well, I just think it's interesting with the ad load on Peacock. So Amazon is selling linear ad loads on, even though it's the Thursday night football games are being streamed.
It's very
Uh,
much a traditional broadcast deal.
exactly, it's just the easiest way to sell ads to advertisers given the current market, and with Nielsen impressions or
Yep.
Nielsen ratings as the backbone of that. And then here we are with Peacock, and they've signed on to get measurement from Nielsen, and they are also for these streaming games. We've heard um, it's going to be a linear ad load, so it's not dynamic ad insertion. It really is going to be everyone, except maybe some nuances around special ad types. Everyone in the country is going to be seeing the same ads at the same times as if it
Yeah.
was a linear broadcast.
Yeah, that is still the power of live sports, even though theoretically you could carve that up a million different ways. That is really what brands are drawn to, is everybody watching the same thing at once and talking about it and hopefully engaging. All right, Matt, we're going to talk in a couple weeks. Happy holidays to everybody. Happy New Year. And thanks again.
Yeah, and we have our predictions at EDO, edo.com. Please check out those predictions if you're on your computer over the next couple weeks. And happy holidays to everyone who's celebrating. Talk to you in the new year, Mike.
We'll definitely check that out. Thanks, Matt.